Like the Wicked Witch of the West, Antarctica is melting.
According to the Weather Underground, Antarctica has experienced its warmest day ever on Tuesday, March 24th, with the temperature reading at 63.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Prior to this date, the highest known recorded temperature on the continent was 62.6 degrees Fahrenheit back in 1976.
I know, Antarctica has its highest temperature ever, but it has nothing to do with climate change. There's nothing that humans are doing that is making any of this stuff happen. Shit happens. That's what Donald Trump at least is going to tweet when he sees something like this, right? Or with the people that, it starts snowing and they say, well, there can't be global warming because it's snowing. Remember there was that congressman just a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, with the snowball.
With the snowball in Congress. Well, it's snowing outside, so it can't be getting warmer. Something is happening to this earth, right, science girl?
Yes, and the other argument that you often hear from the conservative party is that there's more ice in Antarctica. There's more ice, you guys, so this couldn't be a global warming issue. But what they fail to distinguish between is land ice and sea ice. And because of global climate change and because of the patterns of the winds from global climate change, we will see, from time to time, more sea ice. This is what happens when there's sea ice. You take a glass of water that has ice cubes in it, and the ice cubes melt, and then let's say that they freeze again, and they melt, and they freeze again, and the level of the water stays the same, because it's water in water. When the land ice melts, it's fucking catastrophic. It falls into the ocean, and the ocean levels rise.
Right.
And that's
and it makes Florida disappear,
exactly.
which is a good thing.
And that's what's happening right now.
So just to be clear, even though you were very clear, but I want to just really clear this thing out. So when the land ice melts, that water has to go somewhere.
Yes, it falls into the ocean.
Thus,
and that is
water
very
raises, and Florida and New Orleans.
And as water heats up, it actually expands. So we've got a twofold problem. The water itself is expanding, and the water is taking in ice that's falling off of the land into the ocean to extend that sea level rise even more. This is incredibly dangerous. We're starting to see that when the land gets warm like this, it actually melts the ice from underneath, so it slips off. Like it's supposed to be pretty well stuck to the land, but we're seeing these warming pockets underneath these massive ancient glaciers, and the ice is literally just sliding into the ocean. And as you said, you can look at these renderings, these world map renderings, and they're horrifying.
Yeah.
California is underwater, Florida is underwater. And the thing is, we don't feel it here. We don't feel it because we live in America and the air conditioner blows nice and cold.
Right.
But if you go and you visit these low-lying nations, these places like Bangladesh, where people are literally underwater when they weren't 5 years ago, climate change is happening right now.
Yeah, ironically, we're in a drought in California, but that's a whole other thing. So when you hear someone explain science like that, does it give you any hope that the people that don't believe in this stuff and for some reason don't believe in science isn't something you believe in, it's a fact whether you believe in it or not. That's the thing.
Well, that's the thing. Like the guy who brought the snowball on the floor is in charge of the science committee in Congress. So it's like, how do you expect anything to change when that guy's keeper of the gate?
Yeah.
He's like, look, I got a snowball, so there's nothing going on out there.
So science.
Exactly. Like that's the guy in charge. But like, when you think about the people on the right and why they push back so hard against climate change, like I saw, reluctantly, I saw Dennis Miller's Netflix special, and he does this joke where
you're
he
a glutton
goes,
for punishment, man.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm sadistic. And he says, if global warming is real, like someone just show me why it's snowing or why it's cold, and the audience just applauds and goes crazy, and it's like, that's why the earth is gonna die, because the other half of the people don't get it. They just
So why is this a political thing? That's the part. I don't get what being a conservative or being a liberal has anything to do with science. Like, I don't understand how this has become like this political thing where to be like, if you say I'm running as a Republican, I have to be against science. It's actually crazy.
Well, the funny thing is that environmentalism, as you actually look into the research, doesn't seem to be specifically a progressive issue. Many conservatives are quite environmentalist in their methods. They just like a different message than we do. Liberals seem to like a message of like, go green and be good for the planet and hug each other. And conservatives are like—
That can get pretty sickening too.
It's true, but conservatives are like, don't fucking preach to me. Don't tell me about my consumer rights. And so I think if you approach it from different angles, you can actually feed into conservative environmentalism in a smart way. We just haven't had a good, we haven't had a good go of it because we as progressives have horrible PR and we don't know what the fuck we're doing when it comes to marketing a message. Right. Conservatives are very good at that. So I think the truth of the matter is, it's not that most Republicans are anti-global warming. It's that Republican leaders are in the pockets. There's a specific political
exactly the point I was
agenda
getting
here.
at.
Yes, and they're in the pockets of big oil and big fossil
There's
fuel.
no incentive.
So is that it though? That why don't they then start putting some of their resources into green stuff and just make money with green? Like that seems so obvious to me. Like if you're not denying the science,
Right.
well
The
then there's
money's not
plenty
there
of
yet.
but it's going to be there. So
But
don't
it's not there
where
yet. Come on,
where
come
are
on, come
the
on. We're not thinking about the future. We're thinking
Right.
about the right
Right.
now.
Money
and the
in
truth
my
is,
pocket
yes,
now.
there is
Yeah.
legacy
So that's it.
money
There-
in
there-
fossil fuels.
Yeah.
There's a lot of legacy money in fossil fuels, and
Yeah.
these pockets go deep, and these relationships go back a very long time.
Yeah.
And the old people in charge of these institutions, they don't want change. They want to stick to what they've been doing until you hit rock bottom and
they're
there's nothing left.
conservative.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the definition of conservatism.
right? Meaning you want to deplete the oil,
Meaning
Yeah.
you want to
go
keep
to bone dry, basically.
Until
you
there's
want to
nothing
keep
left.
shit the way it's always been.
Right.
Progressivism requires discomfort. It requires trying things and seeing things fail and learning from those mistakes and pushing past it. Conservatism is not about that. It's about maintaining the status quo and holding on to the way that things were for as long as you possibly can until it becomes detrimental. And the truth of the matter is the ship is fucking sinking right now.
Right.
And we all love to say that we're ruining the planet, but what we sometimes forget is that, you know, Jurassic Park, life will find a way. The planet, although it will be badly damaged, will figure out how to go on without us. What we're doing right now is we're making the planet unlivable for us.
Exactly.
But also for
Right.
a lot of other fucking species along the way, which is a huge bummer.
Yeah.
But the truth be told, we won't be able to survive on Earth if we continue on the track that we're continuing on. Earth will figure it out without us.
I was just watching a George Carlin special, and that basically is what he says about, the Earth was here for billions of years before us.
Yeah, right.
And it's going to be here way after we've had to leave. 10 of us are going to have to leave. I just watched Deep Impact. So, I want to be one of those 800,000 people.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you guys think? Why is science a political issue? I cannot believe that it is in 2015. Let us know your thoughts in the comments right down below.